Hey, welcome back. This is Molly. Thank you for joining me here on my YouTube channel. As every Friday, I release these new videos for you and we talk about a specific astrological topic. And in today's video, I wanted to cover the energies of transiting Uranus in Taurus, as we are going to have this energy throughout 2026. And it's important to have more awareness and more of a heads up around how this energy can support you, because it can also feel really disruptive, very chaotic, and also it's where life can change very quickly. So in your natal chart, you would want to locate where you have houses with Taurus energy in them and where transiting Taurus is working with you. And it's going to be much more personal if you have planets or points in Taurus, because this transiting Uranus comes through and it's a conjunction energy, which is very intense. It's really the most intense, and it really shakes things up in your life. So as Uranus moves through Taurus, it is a disruptor. It is chaos. It is change. It is fast-moving change. It's electric. And it is ultimately liberating you from something that's no longer a fit. But it may not feel that way. Uranus is the energy of awakenings. It's cosmic intelligence. It's the energy of fast-moving change and lightning strikes. But when it's in Taurus, it's a very different energy signature. And that's because Taurus is an earth sign, a fixed sign, and it wants stability, reliability, security. What can I count on? What is known? What is a known entity in my life that I rely on every single day? And this Taurus energy, it's one of the fixed signs in addition to Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And it doesn't want change unless it's consciously and intentionally chosen. And often that can happen slowly. Taurus is a slow-moving energy, takes its time, assesses things. Is this practical? Can this work? Is this realistic? And it wants to look for a guarantee. This is the energy of also self-reliance and being able to do something on your own. Having that sense of, I can handle this, I can build this, I can take care of this, and I want to because it's what I value. It's what has meaning to me. It's where I want to invest my time, invest my money, invest my efforts for something that is worthwhile. So these themes are then being really shaken up by the Uranus energy. And because Uranus moves fast, this Taurus energy can feel like something happens quickly out of the blue. And it could even be something that you've been resisting, something that you didn't want to change in your life. It was very comfortable, it was stable, it was known. But that's why it's good to have a heads up on particularly the house the transiting Uranus is moving through, because this is where your big life changes are happening, ready or not. And it gives you that heads up, it gives you that understanding that it is right on time, even if it feels sudden, surprising, out of the blue. Now we have to go higher with this energy to get the bigger picture around it. And this is where things can start to make sense, because the Uranus energy wants to free you from anything that is too limiting. So if you've been stuck in a rut, you've been in a comfort zone, it could even be a sense of you might not have realized where your energy has sank or where you were feeling disempowered. Uranus comes through, sets you free. That's over, that's done, no going back. Then the Taurus energy can show you what to build next. Where are my resources? How am I going to make this happen? How am I going to have this come together? And it's a very practical energy. And Taurus will typically go towards the money first. How am I going to have the money for this? How am I going to invest in this? How are the resources going to come through so that I can practically build and develop this? So there's energy here that can be very uncomfortable for the Taurus energies, Because again, you don't want change unless it's chosen. And if it is chosen, you want to be able to plan for it. That Taurus energy wants to take its time, show me a calendar date, show me how this is going to work. Because it's an earth sign. Show me. I need to see it. If I can't see it, I don't believe it. It's very Taurus. So this is where what you're actually trusting is that there's more that can come together, even if you can't see it yet. And it is going to really ask you to trust deeper. This is the energy where you're really actually, this is what's interesting. You're learning that everything around you can be changing. It can feel really unstable, but you're learning to be your own guarantee. I will figure this out. I will do what I need to do. I will take the next step. So it's that Taurus self-reliance that can be strengthened, especially if there's something that you're tapped into or tuned into that you feel is really supporting you, even during the chaos or the big changes. Uranus tends to renovate our life. It tends to take things and change them in a dramatic, significant way. And because it moves so slowly, it can have this sense of multiple changes are happening in a particular area of your life. Almost like you can't keep up. You can't keep up with all the changes. There's too much happening. There's too much going on. It's almost like it's happening really fast as well. Again, lightning strikes or those electrical pulses that come through and it just feels really big. So it's important to know where this energy is in your chart, because it's where you're experiencing big life changes that are perhaps shaking up a place of security. Something you thought would always be there or something you thought was very stable. This energy destabilizes it, throws it out, throws the baby out with the bathwater because there's something new that's coming through or that you're meant to connect with. So as you watch this transiting Uranus in Taurus move through your chart, it's going to work with all of us, but it works with you more individually if you have those planets or points in Taurus. It can bring in something surprising, something shocking. You could feel blindsided. You could feel like, wow, I never thought in a million years that would happen. But it's happening. The change is happening. The change is real. And then there's this fast-paced tempo that happens as well. So if those Taurus energies, again, they've been moving slow, they've been stagnant, you've been resistant to something, this comes in and it makes things happen very quickly. Now, this energy will also be working with you more personally for your planets or points in the fixed signs. Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. You're also experiencing more of this Uranian awakening, this Uranian intensity that throws things up into the air, because Uranus is the wild card. It's the unexpected that is working with you, but ultimately it's liberation. It's liberating you from something. And what's tricky is that you might not always see what the next thing is. It just, something else is done. You're like, oh, that's gone, that's over, that part of my life, that area of my life, that thing that I relied on, it's gone. And I don't know what's next. But Uranus tends to move quickly, and it can bring in that next opportunity or that next opening just as fast as the thing that left. So what we're learning is how to maintain our internal stability with all these big changes happening. Now, clearly we can see it in the world at large. Uranus in Taurus is really shaking up our resources, our investments, our money, our financial systems. It's really bringing our attention to how we find stability during chaos. It shakes up what we need in our lives. And because Taurus is about the senses, the five senses, it's about how we need shelter, clothing, food, water, the basic essentials of life. But this can be scary if it's working with you really intensely. It can take away things that you really thought were certain. But this is where we're developing stronger muscles to be secure in ourselves regardless of what's changing. So this is where you are becoming your own guarantee. You're learning to stabilize yourself internally. You will find an answer. You will figure it out. There will be a next step. There will be something else that comes through and shows up. There will be, because there always has. There always has been. And yet we're working with how we stabilize ourselves during very uncertain times. So it's a big energy. The last time Uranus was in Taurus was during the Great Depression, was during a time of rationing, when certain supplies were limited, when certain things were unknown. So it can be beneficial to look at those themes and then look at what's happening now in our world at large. It can also be beneficial to understand what you're consciously working with during these times of big change, and how you're allowing this Uranian energy to ultimately support you for the long term, even if there's some periods of time when it just seems like everything is thrown up in the air and you don't know how it's going to land. But this is really showing you more of what you're capable of, more of what you can handle, and more of your own ability to be self-reliant, to trust in yourself, to look at what you can do to continually take care of yourself, your family, your needs, but also to know that the universe is quantum. There's quantum potentials. There's multiple miracles here. There's multiple things that can show up to support you. And sometimes we have to get out of our own way. So this could be that the Uranus and Taurus energy is shaking up something that you didn't even realize you had outgrown. It was just very familiar. It was just something you knew. Maybe it was something that you relied on and you never gave it much thought. And then you realized, wow, I didn't realize I was stuck in that, or that I was really circling or staying in an energy that I had outgrown. So if you can work with this in a way that supports you, that shows you where you're being liberated, and that you're open to change, even if it's temporarily uncertain and scary, if you're open to it, then you're going to work with this energy better, and it's going to allow you to make the necessary changes in your life. So this is a big energy. It's working with everybody on the planet. It's clearly working with our global systems and what we're moving through collectively. But I wanted to give you these insights in your own chart so that you can be aware of how it's working with you personally and what you can have a heads up about as we move forward and into this decade, because again, Uranus stays in Taurus until 2026. So, hope this has been beneficial for you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you back here real soon for another video.